So welcome everyone to Grape Finance Weekly AMA. My name is Nikki, like every week, and we're here with Dave. Hello, Dave,
Hello.
and LB as always. Hello, LB.
Hey, hey everyone, how you going? Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. There's a lot of people here, which is good. We always love that, and that's also why we tried having this moment in the week, so that there could be more people live. See a lot of familiar names. Would be weird to say faces, but a lot of familiar names. Happy to have you all around. So before we start with the questions, is there anything you would like to say, LB?
Well, I guess maybe we touched on we regained peg during the week, and then we've kind of we've fallen off since then. But I guess it's it's part of the cycle of a seniorage token. I think we're what, like 6 months, almost 7 months in. Well, actually like 6.5 months, which is pretty insane. When you think about it, for especially for like a tomb fork as well. Like, not many tomb forks have been around for that long. Tomb forks in general haven't been around for that long. I mean, seniorage protocols have, but not notwithstanding length of time. So it's a great achievement in that respect anyway. And so we've had some sell-offs today, but I guess that's to be expected when you have a lot of, the market kind of turned around and people kind of go to newer newer things that are kind of maybe more APRs right now, higher APRs, or they go to L1s to capture some of the new yield that's coming in after a big Bitcoin dumps and all that sort of stuff, and a bit of a crab market. But the idea that we have with this project is to kind of build something that kind of moves away from high like a high APR, high unsustainable practice, into something that kind of actually builds some kind of utility for the tokens, and a utility that's not just like staking the token again in another pool to earn more tokens. So I mean, they're always good, like short-term things, but we want to kind of branch out into actual DeFi services that generate real revenue if you use them. So that's kind of where we're going, and that's kind of like a bigger picture here. So the price will go around wherever it wants to go in the immediate term, and that's you just have to kind of sit through those times, I guess, and focus on the longer term vision. So that's kind of what we're doing anyway, is just kind of focus on building out what we need to build out, and not watching the daily price fluctuations, so to say, because they can get to you if you look at it too often.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. If you look at it too often, it you can get desperate in a way, even though there are just so many beautiful things in the future, right? And in the near future as well, like with the game coming up, the winemaker game, and then shortly after the Finium coming up as well. So there's so much to be looking forward to, and essentially, if you see people selling right now, if you see people not understanding the true value, it's also kind of their loss, and of course, if you would sell now, it would be your loss as well. So that's kind of the thing. Yeah, I think I wanted to say that. Right. Yeah, there's just a lot of people, I think, are not having the full picture of what we're going to do, where we're going. Like we've been talking behind the scenes a bit about where do all these cells come from, and obviously there's some node sell-offs, like people who just don't care what their Grape is worth as long as they can sell it. So because they want some node ROI, which is kind of unconscionable, I would say. But fair enough. And then there are some people who might be on Beefy, who aren't even within our community, who don't even see anything, and they just see the price go down, so they sell. Which I think is not a good way of investing, because then you don't really know your product. But some people do that, and that might help. That might not be helping as well. So it's up to us, I think, to turn this around and to provide some more utility into, and then have the community turn it around. Like, we cannot turn it around, but we can provide utility, which is that is so interesting, and that is so cool to use, that the community wants to turn it around, because you want to have grapes to use all these things, right? Either lending and borrowing, or the game, or other stuff. Right. Now, that was a bit longer than I wanted. Okay. But let's go to the question. The first one, I think it's the first one, right? Mark Lams. Yeah. Missed the AMA. So I missed the chance to ask this question. How does the Grape Treasury gain funds? Where do they come from? Hashtag Grape to the moon.
Yeah, well, in Toonforks seniorage protocols, obviously there's no like pre-sale or raise or anything like that some projects do to get funds for the treasury. So in seniorage protocols, the DAO or the treasury gets a percentage of each new print, essentially each new epoch that's above peg. The treasury will get a portion of that newly minted grape. And in times where we're high above peg, the treasury will sell portions of that during the day to have some non-native tokens, essentially, which is important for running the protocol, for marketing expenses, very expensive marketing, unfortunately, for development to release new products for the protocol itself, and general maintenance as well. So obviously, we can't give people grape to pay for things. Most things, some people will accept grape, sure, but not many people will. So we need to kind of generate some funds, and in seniorage protocols, the way to do that is selling some of the emissions. And also what we do is what we did not too long ago is implement the wine rebates. And the wine rebates come from the vested wine shares, essentially the vested shares that the treasury gets over time. And a portion of that obviously we use to pay for things as well, and give out for promotions and things like that as well, giveaways, and some of that we also put into the rebates, so that offer the community some sort of a discount as well. But it also generates some actual non-native tokens or LP tokens for the treasury to own. So that's the general way of how we get funds, or how we've built up some funds.
Yeah, that's very clear. And what you said before is that the DAO is obviously usually just following the strategy, as it were, like the
Yeah.
usual strategy that we give out is what the DAO is following. Although we have changed the zone 1 a bit. We've toned it down a bit, because the 2.0 TWAP was a bit enthusiastic.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's sort of what's been happening. So good. Hyper with 500 nodes says, you can see that now. It's cool. Says, how are the LP nodes that go into the NFT airdrop pool handled? Do you split the pairs and trade them in for Grape and throw it all in the pot? Or will we start to get LP tokens as part of the airdrops in the future? Oh,
Right
yeah.
now, yeah, right now that LP one isn't contributing to the NFT airdrop. It's going to the treasury essentially as protocol liquidity. In the future, we'll likely just give the put in the LP tokens to the NFT airdrop as well. But in the Grape nodes, there's a 20% cut, and 10% goes to the NFT rewards, 10% goes to the treasury, and then in the LP one, there's only a 10% cut right now, and all of that goes to the treasury to build up protocol liquidity. And there's quite a bit of it has built up quite a bit, so it's done well for that. And that's kind of why we want to do that, because we want to make sure we build it up for the treasury to own that actual liquidity, which is better for the treasury to own than just pure Grape, so to say. Because if you have only pure Grape, if you want to actually add to the liquidity, well, we're going to have to either get MIM from somewhere to pair it, or sell half of the Grape to add to the LP. So that's kind of not the best. So that's why we the protocol liquidity is always great for the treasury to own.
Awesome. As simple as that. So it could be in the future that you just get LP airdropped. Saint says Finium could and should turn out to be a great source of income for Grape. Can you give an idea of the interest already from other protocols to have their token used on the platform?
Yeah, well, we're talking to obviously Liquid Capital is part of the partnerships. Swapsicle, talking to them. Obviously Walrus as well. But so there's a few initially, but also we kind of also want to make sure that when you have a token as collateral, first of all, you need to make sure that you can get accurate pricing for that token, because it's very important for liquidations. And secondly, you want to make sure that the token has sufficient liquidity so that it can actually be liquidated if it needs to be. Obviously, the idea is that you don't want it to. You wouldn't want a small cap token on there to have to be liquidated, because then it's essentially putting it's putting the protocol's token at risk, first of all, because if it's liquidated, then it's gonna, and there's low liquidity, then it's going to drain all the liquidity to pay back that loan, which is not good for that protocol. So that's kind of, we can't just accept any token on the platform. It has to at least have some reasonable liquidity and availability around, so that in the event of a liquidation, it can actually be liquidated and pay back the loan, which is, protects their token from basically going to zero. And it also protects our platform, the lending platform, and the borrowers or the lenders who's the token who that person borrowed, essentially. So obviously you put up collateral for whatever token, and you borrow some other token like a stablecoin. But if the token that you put up as collateral cannot be liquidated, then there's a debt. There's a debt that the platform owes to the lenders that lended whatever that person borrowed. So there's a thing that it's obviously a lot of risk management involved in this, that we can't just add any token just because it's cool or whatever. It has to be mutually beneficial, first of all, but it also has to
some deeper liquidity.
Has to be, yeah, it has to be deep liquidity, and they have to know the risks as well, because just adding any random token on there is not beneficial for us. It's not beneficial for them either. So yeah, so it's kind of something that we'll obviously launch with our tokens first, because it's our platform, and then we'll go from there, and we'll add tokens on a case-by-case basis with the partners.
All right, clear enough. So there might be interest, but we're gonna go very carefully and not overextend. Munji says, can we please get the replays of the AMAs posted? We already have that. We seem to have stopped doing this and only have the 10-minute recaps. I love listening to replays on my run. Continue to post the replays. That would be so cool. PS, love you, Nikki and LB. Oh, thank you so much. Squirrel, great. They are always posted on the YouTube. We might fail to announce it sometimes, but they're always uploaded.
Yeah, and I can double check, make sure that they get added to the playlist. So maybe he's like looking at the playlist and they haven't been added to the playlist.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'll check after that.
Thank you so much, Dave.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. Okay, so they're always there somewhere. Like if you can't find them, then maybe we fucked up making it clear, but they're there. All right, Jeff Wave says, suggestion, if the actual selling pressure is coming from the nodes, rewards, or from anywhere else, you could limit the claims to once per day when Grape is under pack, especially. Could you do that? Well, that would be, well, there's a lot there. What do you think, LB?
If you just limit to once per day, I mean, it doesn't really make a difference. Because you're getting the same amount per day. So most people just claim once per day anyway. So that wouldn't make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, and then
you know what I mean?
You sort of end up in like another cyclical rise and dump event. Like if you pay attention to like Thor node's price, where they implemented that sales tax after, like it's a reducing tax. So basically every month what you see is a bigger dump off of tokens when everybody's taxes are the lowest, and then it goes back up and then they dump again. So it's really, it's the same problem, just on a different day of the week.
Yeah. So that's not really a sustainable solution at all. The only real solution would be to simply add more utility and have people, be more interested in the token again. I would say. So you can't really do it anyway else. Like you cannot force people to hold a token against their will. They would just resent it. And we want a happy community, right? And of course the price doesn't always make us happy, but that's the community doing that to itself in a way, and to everyone. But that's a different way. That's a different thing. Like we need to start working together again, and eventually we will, I'm sure of it. But that's different from us trying to force things in a way. We need to incentivize. We need to make sure that it's interesting for people to hold the tokens, but not force things, because that will just make people angry. My opinion there.
Yeah.
Okay. Chenko Fix It, who has 100 nodes. Could we, or at least, could we have an order and rough time frame of the new products being launched? For example, first NFT game approximately 2 weeks from now. Second, wine detonator. Third, Finium. Estimated dates. We'll let you know if anything changes when closer to the dates. Like that, it just wants an estimate. That should not be hard. It would massively benefit the community. One, for direction of overall community and investment, to keep everyone compounding, etc. And two, for managing expectations, especially for newcomers who are sometimes scared with the recent volatility. Let's fucking grape.
Uh,
So
yeah,
what do
sure,
you
we can
think?
do that. I mean, that's the thing is you need to be careful with, doing dates, even estimated dates, because if you're like one day over, it's like a disaster. So it's kind of, we need to be realistic with the dates, and sometimes when you're dealing with technology, things um things don't go to plan, and you have delays, and that's kind of, can delay some of the dates that you've had planned, and then people get disappointed, and then like it doesn't look good, I guess. We can give estimate dates, and we do give estimate dates often when we know roughly what uh what needs to be done, as in, what actually needs to be done and how long it's going to take in a medium case, like a most probable case timeline. So we do it, but it's kind of also some things like, like a bigger thing, like Vinium is a larger project with a lot of variables that need to be taken into account. So to give like an accurate date is hard until you're closer to the time of launch, and then therefore, if you just kind of like, oh well, it's going to be this time, and it's not that time, it's it's disappointing. So we will give some specific dates when we know roughly what is a fair estimate for these things. I think the game will be this coming week. The Detonator, within 2 weeks of that, we are trying to, it's actually done, but we do want to actually, we've been talking to EMP, so and there's a possible joint launch there, essentially, like we launch in partnership with them on it, and that would be nice. So it's done, the Detonator, or the wine press, but if we want to launch with technically like EMPs as a partner on that, then there's just still a few things to work out on that, and that'll probably we kind of want to space it out as well. So we do, the game this week, and then the wine Detonator, we can say like 2 weeks from there, and then Vinium, I think it is a fair estimate to say end of August. We also do want to get an audit, which is kind of like not sure how long that would take. But in terms of like the contracts, they're done, and they're in the testing phase now, and the UI is pretty much integrated into that. And so it is on final steps, but there are still unknown variables, and so we can't give like a exact date for that right now.
Yeah. Also because you want to be really, really careful here.
It's
Which,
pretty important, yeah.
yeah. Okay. Cool. I also want to like, there's someone here who says 33% down when pump, and there's another one who says all your grape are belong to me. Like, I would say if you combine that and then take the guy or girl or who says all your grape are belong to me, like, you buy that, and then we have pump. But right, let's move on. Um, okay, Charles Ponzi. All right, you show us what you love, man. Charles Punchy, like, how are you planning to combat people selling rewards from Grape notes? What incentives can you add to the notes holders to stop that behavior? Well, it does regulate itself a little as well, right? Because eventually, if people don't buy new nodes, then the nodes will also the nodes rewards will drop. So the people who are now just selling and not compounding are also just making sure that the nodes are slowly ending. And there might be an option for Grape if we want to do that. I don't think we have to maybe boost it a little with Grape in the treasury, but that doesn't print also. Like that doesn't print because we're under pack, so we can't even do that. So eventually the nodes will dwindle off, simply because people keep selling. So people are killing the nodes in a way. That's
Right.
just my
And
view. Yeah.
if the concern is with people selling node rewards, we're certainly not gonna fill up the bucket,
Yeah.
for money to leave the protocol. There are currently things, you can do with your grape if you don't know when you get it out of the node. You can single stake that for wine, or you can pair it with MIM for some grape MIM liquidity to earn wine, or you can take that liquidity and stake it in Magic to get more grape MIM liquidity. So there's currently things you can do with grape.
A couple of games to play.
Yeah.
So you could also just do that, like use your grape for some fun games or other stuff. Of course, it's not, there is some end utility there.
I mean, it's also, it's hard to control people's behavior because you see it all the time. It's like, oh, I just add a cell tax below peg, and I mean, there's been like 5,000 protocols that have done that, and it doesn't do anything. The reason why is because people just take the loss, and they'll sell with the tax. They'll sell with the tax. It doesn't matter. It's not. It doesn't do anything basically. It's the you're trying to control. You're trying to control DeFi degens. Like it's hard to do that. You have to give DeFi degens a reason to hold the token, to invest in a new pool or something like that that can generate a new token, or in some sort of utility that brings some value to them in another way that's maybe not even a token at all, like a game or something, as that in that regard, you know what I mean? So it comes back to that. You have to give value and utility rather than trying to control people's actions, as in like trying to like adding all these taxes and all these things, to make people do things, because some people will follow those for sure, but there'll still be people that won't follow those anyway, and you'll find that a lot of the people that will follow it will probably be people that follow the optimal strategy anyway. So whether or not it does anything is kind of, it likely doesn't do anything. But in saying that, I am kind of remodeling the nodes, so to say, and how they work, and improving them a little bit. We'll do some. We'll make a node v2 when we have a better design for it finalized, with some improvements on maybe incentivizing people to do things in an optimal way, to benefit the protocol, but also benefit them. So I know V2 will be something that we do anyway.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. This will be after Finium then.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things to do, and we should really stick to releasing the core thing, and then moving on. It gives us some time to think, and also plan how it can work, for the benefit of everyone.
All right then. Then we go to Tech Junkie, and they say, is it possible to give the airdrop as a Grape node instead of Grape to the wallet, given a choice by the investor, assuming your airdrop amount would be at least 50 Grape? Or is it possible for airdrop to be put into a semi-locked staking, not a node, for say 60 or 90 days, etc., allowing you to perform the airdrops on a cadence without the Grape getting sold when we are in the peg? I can see where this could also lead to Grape getting dumped at the end of the staking period too, though. Yeah. Just some thoughts I had as I noticed our Grape ask often when airdrop. I love what you guys are doing. Thank you for providing a great protocol and community. Yeah. And well, we can't airdrop it as nodes, I think.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's kind of something we can do as a V2 node to allow that ability. But in saying that, I think what we can also do is maybe do like a stream of rewards. So it's kind of like a daily reward essentially, but it's a small amount because it's streamed over time. Which also may be not a bad option. Then people can just basically get it every day, but small amounts. But I mean, with the locked pools, I guess I see that as well with like a technically they're already locked in the reward pool as they are now, the NFT reward pool, you could say. And then the unlocking is when you actually airdrop them. But I mean, there's we can probably do a couple things, but
I do
giving
like the
people
idea
nodes
of it
is
being
good, yeah.
streamlined, right? I do like that
Yeah.
idea, like getting a bit every day or every few days or whatever, instead of just a big part like once or twice a month. So that's
Yeah,
kind of nice. That would be nice.
yeah.
So I do like that idea. But personally, like it's just my opinion. I think Tech Junk. All right. Dave, you said something.
Sort of copy and pasted.
Evening, folks. Still wrapping my head around the protocol. It's Virtuoso GT. Like evening, folks. Still wrapping my head around protocol, so I haven't quite invested yet. I can see we're 20% below PAG. So is bonding a good strategy now for the protocol and my wallet? Well, bonding, when you bond, you take Grape out of circulation, like the Grape that you use to bond with gets burned. But then your bonds are locked. You can't do anything with it. Like if so for the foreseeable time, you cannot do anything with it. The only way that you can do anything with it is if Grape goes above PAG again, and then you will get Grape for it again. Now, the incentive to do that, of course, is that if Grape goes 1.1 TWAP or higher, you get a premium. You get more Grape out of it than that you put in. So I would say if you've never been to a seniors protocol yet and you've never done this before, then it might be risky to start with bonds. Not because I believe that we will never reach PAG again, but because I would say we don't really know when we reach PAG again. And so you essentially lock in your bonds until whenever, right? Until we're above PEG again. And until that time, you can't do anything with it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're, I mean, that's the kind of the deal here is that, with bonds, I would consider they're more of like an advanced seniorage, for the advanced seniorage user, because it's obviously, we see a lot of people maybe claim the bonds at 101, and then it's kind of like, what's the point of that? You just he didn't
Could
really
have
do
helped
anything.
Grape. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't really do anything. So the bonds are really an advanced play that's kind of like it's like a leveraged long, you could say, almost, because when you get above 1.1, you get an extra bonus. But that comes with the risk of, you know, even if we get to peg and then it's just 101, it's just, well, you don't get any bonus. And so then what? You didn't really do anything. So it's more of an advanced play, I would say. And I think if you're a beginner, obviously the the play would be, LP into great mim, and just farm, or you know get a node and then just farm and then put that into the the grape single stake, or the grape mim LP stake, depending on which node you bought, and then just farm there. That's kind of what I would recommend for a beginner is, just stick
Mm.
to the farms until you get the hang of things.
Most definitely. Like I consider myself an advanced senior protocol user,
Mhm.
and even I think I might have like 100 or 200 like grape bonds, like not a
Mhm.
lot. Mostly I just hold grape and wait, right? Or I LP
Mhm.
it or something, because they're just yeah. You obviously you cannot choose when to take them out. You have to wait and see when, right? Um. Okay. Is it possible? Oh, F Killer 7 says, is it not possible to make new farms with frozen walrus? Like it is possible. It's always possible. What
Yeah,
what
I mean, we may do something. It's not a farm, I guess. Some other thing that we've been discussing, I guess. Problem with the farms is that you have another farm, you kind of dilute the rewards of the farm. It's something that uh, no protocol really wants to do, unless it's a really good benefit. I mean, we did make the Grape Walrus nodes, and that actually made quite a bit of liquidity in that pair, which is pretty insane, to
cool.
be honest.
It's cool. I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. I mean, it's also kind of like, people in the both protocols. You don't have to sell the peg. You can just kind of match them together and put it in a node. It's interesting. Yeah, we can. I talk to LHB pretty often, almost daily, like most days. Um, we we will work together on quite a few things. So, I mean, if there's any kind of thing that is mutually beneficial, we'll do it. And I mean, we're talking about a couple things. Um, using our tokens. So, I mean, it's definitely not impossible.
No, it is possible, but it has to have a reason. Uh,
Yeah.
that's basically it, right? Then we've come to the AMA live chat where Elmili says, I just want to thank you all for keeping everyone positive and confident through this hiccup. Well, I hope we're doing that. But the thing is we've been lower than this before. We've gone through rough times, and so far we've always come out on top again. So
Hmm.
it's just waiting. Um Wait. Neat Beef says, what can we learn from this time below pack? Can we rely on community efforts to maintain pack in the future? Do we need a more hands-on interventionist approach going forward? And then Wapo says, no, they are animals. We'll be much more strict with pack moving forward. Right. Let's just trust the community, okay? Or at least that's what we got. John with 50 notes says, can a new smart contract be created for newly created / compounded nodes to force a 3-to-1 compound / claim mechanism? Well, is this part of the nodes fee too, LB?
Well, something like that is definitely possible mechanism. I wouldn't say like force. I would say incentivize.
Yeah.
Like incentivize good behavior, I guess, or incentivize optimal behavior for the entire protocol and yourself. But yeah, so but these things kind of require a reworking, and I would want to rework the standard no contract anyway. There are some improvements to be made in how it functions by default, and I think we can do that. It'd be nice to do that anyway.
Yeah, most definitely. Okay. There's something going on. Fizzle saying hey Fizzle, and Pandu too, and Pandu too. Okay, John with 50 notes says, oh no, we just had that. Passive for life. Passive for life with 100 notes. Is the winemaker game still being released before Tuesday, as previously mentioned in announcements? I didn't notice that date, but
You
is it?
mentioned a day. I don't know. It's happening this week. We're doing the mint likely on Wednesday, and then the game will launch likely 24 hours after that, because we need to add some liquidity to the pair, and basically set all the winners, and you'll be able to mint with first of all, there'll be 2,700 NFTs, Vintner NFTs that are free mints for people that hold NFTs. So if you have one of the NFTs now, you'll be able to mint one for free. If you have like 10, you'll be able to mint 10. That's just kind of, it's like one NFT, one free mint.
And does the tier matter at all?
No, there's no benefit to the tier. So if you've just got a low tier, like a goon bag, you get the same benefit here. With and then the rest of the NFTs will be for sale for mint essentially, and it will be 50 grape. Either you can choose to pay in grape or you can choose to pay in AVAX. It'll be 50 grape per mint, or we'll kind of do, depending on the price of AVAX, probably like 2 AVAX. We'll kind of keep it like around $50. So we'll set that around the day, but that'll kind of be the price, like $50 in AVAX and about 50 grape or 50 grape for the mint. And you can mint 20 at a time, I believe. I think that's what we said. Either way, we can change that anyway, but that's kind of what I want. 20 at a time, and then unlimited in total for if you want. But the thing is, if you don't have a high enough level in the game, you can't stake them all at the same time. So you need to level up your guy,
Your
or
pizza
your
maker.
profile.
Oh yeah, your winemaker. I'm sorry.
Your winemaker.
Oh.
Your essentially your profile, your
Yeah.
empire profile, to be able to stake more vintners at a time. And you can do that
Yeah.
through grape. You can so if you have a lot of grape, you can kind of get ahead with the game in the beginning, which is yeah, you got 2K grapes, you can do pretty decent start in the game. So yeah,
That's might be a better way to spend your grape then, instead of just selling it at a loss. Especially now, stuck. So it's actually a lot cheaper to mint with grape than with AVAX, considering like the AVAX is gonna be set to around $50, and the grape is like just 50 grape, because we're on the pack. That's cheaper. All right, very cool. I'd love to see you use the plus instead of MIM to help out the price appreciation for grape. Yeah, that would be like an increasing, a self-increasing stablecoin, right? USD plus.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah,
yeah.
I've seen that. It's pretty interesting concept. Um, I mean, obviously the issue is the fact that we have large liquidity and it's community owned, so we can't just like switch it over. Um, it's people would have to uh, they'd essentially have to break liquidity, then go and mint USD plus, and then add liquidity again for that. So that's you know a barrier to entry. And I mean the thing is, I like the idea of it of pairing with it. I know Sphere's done that, but the issue is that it's if we are it's a low APR essentially. It's like 10% a year, um, which is for a seniorage protocol, it's nothing really, to be honest. 10% a year on the inflation that we have possible is not going to help in a substantial way, unfortunately, um, in a way that would outweigh it's like a cost to benefit essentially. It could be a cool like additional pool to have um, some liquidity in there, but in terms of like the whole liquidity being used in there, even when we're below peg, we're like 25% below peg. We have the same, buy to sell pressure now. We stay at this price, it will take us up 10% in a year. So it's not,
It doesn't
it's
do
not,
much.
it does, yeah, it's not for the hassle of having to get everybody over. It wouldn't be good enough, unfortunately. But I do like the idea. I think it's pretty cool concept, and it would be cool to do maybe like an additional pair with it.
Yeah. And there's a question going on what the wine detonator does. Like people see barrels of wine exploding. Maybe you could shed a light on that.
Well, essentially, it's just like a pool. It's kind of like a node. It's kind of like a drip thing as well, where it's I mean that's what EMP base it off. It's a it's we'll use the wine mim LP because it's great for building liquidity because essentially you buy into it and it's kind of like a node in the respect that you don't get the initial back, like you can't unstake, but you buy it and then you get a set amount per day, which usually it's a fixed APR of 1%, and you can obviously claim per day, which will have a small, I guess there's a small claim disincentive in that you'll get less than what you would if you had compounded. So there's a compound bonus um, each day, and then what happens is after you've reached, I think it's 365% return. If you do not compound, um, someone can come and there's a list first of all of everyone that's close to reaching that threshold, and if you get to that threshold and you don't compound, someone can come in and assassinate you and take your remaining yield. So it's a bit gamified as well, and there's also a bonus, like a winning bonus for each daily largest depositor and several random depositors as well. So they'll get a bonus yield essentially that they can claim. And also there's like a separate lottery as well that is tied into it, and you get lottery tickets by creating more, essentially adding more to the pool and compounding more gives you more tickets, and also you can buy tickets with Grape, and those tickets will enter you into the the daily lottery that earns you. It can possibly earn you some of that. Some of those tokens, some of those LP tokens is what it'll be with us with the one mem. So essentially, it's like it's a node, but it's fixed APR, and it's kind of like Drip, but I mean it's worked really well for EMP to build liquidity. I mean I think they have probably the best liquidity around right now, except for maybe Tomb, you could say. But yeah, so there's a few mechanisms, so we'll need to make some documentation on it to kind of make it a little bit clearer. But it's not too complex once you kind of just understand that it's a pool that you either claim or you compound, but it's incentivizing compounding, and it's incentivizing adding daily as well, and gamifying it a bit as well.
Cool. Yeah, looking forward to it. Definitely. Like I'm gonna try and skip through whatever's in the chat right now a little bit faster because we've been going for about 55 minutes. Like how can we demonstrate proper use of the protocol for people who don't go in Discord and may not know they are hurting the protocol? Yeah, the thing is we try to put our strategies everywhere to explain everything everywhere as much as we can, using videos, using texts and everything. Of course, there's always a better way, but yeah, eventually you just need people to actually be interested in what they're investing in. We can't really, we cannot, save people from themselves all the time. I would say. Rikiko says, is it possible for node feature to have a setting for an auto compound feature? That I would say so. Maybe a higher reward for
Maybe
long-term deposits.
it's
Yeah,
kind of a little bit different there. Yeah.
yeah. So we'll see. Or maybe there's a way to get extra incentives for bonding. But Baith God says, I will keep buying nodes and compounding. Let's go, Grape. Awesome. Was a date provided for when the detonator will be launched? Well, we've just discussed it. Like first the winemaker game, and then about 2 weeks from that. Shadow in the window. Nick right. It's creeping me out. I think that's that one, right? And it's a tree. So it's okay. It's a tree. The tree is casting a shadow.
Cut it down.
Cut it down. Okay. Did we ever get an answer for the most asked question? Why the name Grape Finance? It has been answered. Go read back. Go listen to the old videos, man. It has been answered. It's there somewhere. Taz also says, taking a bite at that one compounding now will always give you benefits now and later. Since you're creating protocol and liquidity, you'll be rewarded both by getting more grapes and later if we ever migrate to something else. Are we going to migrate to something else? All right, then.
Like a V2,
anytime.
I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're gonna, but all right. OWeb TV says anytime projections on nothing at all for now. What? Okay. Pandu says, is there a way to unite the Trader Joe's LP and Swapsco LP in one bigger one? This could be beneficial to avoid arbitrage. The arbitrage is not really hurting us, so to speak. But it would be cool to maybe move the TWAP to the Swapsco one at some point.
Yeah,
Possibly.
I mean we can do that. We do have good liquidity there.
So that could be cool. so that it's not that the people on Trader Joe would be arbitraging instead of the people on Swapscale being arbitraging. I mean, at least with the trading fees would be better used. All right. When can we expect winemaker dogs? I've seen them. They weren't finished then, but I've seen them, so they are there, and they will arrive. They're gonna be there. Like, careful, I'm a competitive gamer. Geez, what? There's a lot of people in here saying a lot. How will Finium be collateralized? Are you the sole creator or founder? And what does Finium gain for all this? And what chain will Finium be on? This is our own Wapo with node level over 9,000 who's asking this.
How will it be collateralized? It's going to be like an Aave system, so it's technically it's not like a MIM system where you mint a token. It's an Aave system where it's shared pools, and you essentially people deposit into the pools, and they can borrow from the pools, and we'll have different tokens. Obviously, the standard ones, the blue chip tokens, an array of stable coins, and then our tokens as well. So technically no collateral there, but there's nothing to be collateralized. And I guess we'll start on obviously we'll start on AVAX, and what we'll do is likely expand to other chains. I think maybe BSC, but I'm also thinking the Ethereum layer 2s, Optimism, Arbitrum, kind of good opportunities there for growth. Yeah, we'll take it one step at a time. And it is a Grape protocol. So yeah, I mean LC will use it with its partners as well, but it's a Grape specific protocol.
Awesome. What is the money from the NFT mints going to be used for? Says Galactic Grape. That's, I think, Galactic Bull with a different name. Yeah. Galactic Grape says,
These, yeah.
would it be
I mean,
more
I guess,
Yeah, go ahead.
We're going to it's going to be obviously the Grape will go to the Treasury. The AVAX will go to liquidity for the new token, the vintage token, because there'll be, obviously we need liquidity for that. So we'll go to that, and we're kind of aiming for about about 100K of liquidity in that token. So amounts above that will probably just go to the Treasury for development of the game in the future.
All right then. I think we've we're there now. Yeah. Pandu says, I almost reached 50 nodes. The only way to get an NFT is by buying it on the marketplace. I'd rather buy it from the protocol if possible to help it out instead of someone that might dump the Grape. Wait. You mean one of the original NFTs, right? They're bought in. Oh, you can buy them at Grape, right? By now, I think.
Yeah, I think the Hexagon NFT marketplace sells them as Grape. You can buy them as AVAX too, from NF Trade.
Yeah.
But the protocol NFTs are sold out, so all the available NFTs will be on the secondary market.
Yeah. That I'm hearing Wapo says not so fast, mister. I guess I'm asking how will liquidity be deep or / viable after RIP at Finium? Like some startup liquidity from partner or because no one
Mm.
in Tomb Forks goes for Aave APR.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have. I guess we're also trying to attract a new market, trying to branch out into into the standard, the normal DeFi market rather than the degen DeFi market. We will front liquidity in the beginning, and we depending on how much we have, we may either do maybe LC can implement some confront some liquidity as well, depending if we need to. Is like a seed investor, so to say, and we can. And then there'll also be obviously an LP stability pool that you can stake in and earn the Finium token, and also some protocol revenue from the platform itself. So it won't be degen like 2% a day, but we're also trying to branch out into a different market, and it'll also be part was a protocol revenue as well. So it's kind of also, it won't just be like a farm token. So that's always nice.
Most definitely. All right. I think then I am gonna end it. There are some things I might have missed, but there was a lot of chat this time. So I'm sorry if that happened. Of course, you can always just ask a question anew. For the next AMA, which is going to be in about a week again. So with that said, is there anything you would like to add, Dave, at the end of this AMA?
I'm good. Just keep holding on. We're gonna make it. So
Just keep holding on. All right, LB, have you got any end notes, things you would like to say?
Yeah, well, I guess just saying that we're around for the long haul. Essentially, I'm going to be building quite a few things, or we're going to be building quite a few things, and nothing really changes. In terms of from 2 months ago to now, it's kind of the same thing. We're doing the same thing. We're going to continue doing the same thing, and that's basically it. That's kind of the deal here. We're going to continue out the roadmap, build that out, and then add new features on top of that, and kind of attract some of the the normal DeFi market, the non-degen market, into our other products, and then keep the degens happy as well. So it's that's basically the idea.
Yeah, I think I would be interested in putting some stables up there and getting a yield on that might not be as good as a great liquidity pool, but the then again, it's also there's less risk involved. So there's this.
Hmm.
It's just that I think even those who are really into degen or really are into seniors protocols, like me, for example, it would be nice to diversify, right? You don't want all of your money in seniors protocols, or at least I don't. I don't know, some people might, but not all of it, right? I like investing in seniors protocols, but you don't want all of your money there. So
It's high
I
risk,
think
yeah.
yeah, I think it would be work yeah, it would be a nice combination. But yeah, so I have nothing else to add myself. Um, and that means that we've come at the end. I'm very thankful that there have been so many people listening. And of course, those of you who haven't been listening, it is going to be uploaded, although it's a bit weird to say that now because those people who are listening don't need that. It's going to be uploaded like always, and Felix is going to make a 10-minute recap again. And we're going to see you next week. And Grape on, we're going to stay here. Going to
Yeah.
continue. We're not going to give up. Is as operator would say, never going to give you up. Never going to let you down. Thank you so much, people. Bye-bye.